What is happening, Steelers Nation? What's the deal? What's good? What's the dilly? What poppin'? Let me turn up the mic a little bit. I don't know why it was so low. There we go. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. There we go. We back up in there. What's happening, folks? We're gonna jump right in. First and foremost, let's introduce the show. Welcome to the latest episode, latest edition, last edition of the Terrible Towel post-game show of the 2021 season. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement, aka the virtual Heinz Field. Let's get into it, man. Let's say hello really quick to the early commenters. We're always gonna do that first and foremost. Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing tonight? Miss Lanisha? Appreciate you staying up with us and hanging out. Of course, you watched the game, but appreciate you coming by like always. Reggie Reg, Leonard Green, Marquise Carter, Cutboy 412. Who else we got? Mr. Fleetwood, Wave Dave, Rajon 39, Ruben Sanchez. Who else is up in here? My man Rel Fax in the building. KB, King 419, Walter Worthy, C. Antoine Hill. Let's keep going. Who else we got up in here? DCTV, Mark Malone, Virgin. You got to tell me how to pronounce that name. VERGINITHE. And if it's something cute or fly, I'm just not seeing it. So give me the phonetic spelling on that, man, because I hate to not appropriately call your name. G. Smithers, RG Lee. A few more and then we'll get to it, man. Brent Fox. And hello again, as well to everyone else, all of the other extended family members, but definitely going to read his comment with being an extended family member. That's why his is highlighted there. He says, "Welp Steelers family, the reality check just got cash. I'm still proud of my Steelers despite, you said despite of, not because of. Got you. 100. He says, thank you, 7. Yeah, man, you got to kind of walk away from this one kind of understanding what happened. Vista Light is in the building. James Tresvant is in the building. Builder's Life, Corey Foreman. And that's it. Let's dive right into it, shall we? All right, so guys, I'm going to do this one a little different in terms of I'm not going to basically talk about each and every drive. I'm only going to focus on the first half, because that is where most of my opinion is going to come from. I'm going to give you my thoughts, my knee-jerk reactions, and then I'm going to come right into the comment section because I want you guys to go back and forth tonight. I want to see what some of you guys have to say. And the reason being is because I can't wait to see whose fault it was that the Steelers lost tonight, because I've already seen them all. So it's going to be very interesting, man, reading your comments, and I want the chat section to debate because, again, like I tell you guys, I don't really debate opinions, but I've seen some wild ones. Already tonight. So I can't wait to see all of the different people, whether it's player or coach, whose fault it was that the Steelers lost. So, all right, let's get right into my my introductions here. I always do the inactives for the night. Haskins, White, McFarland, Scales, and Davis. Yeah, those were your inactives. Excuse me, guys. Got choked up there. See? I'm crying inside. Let me get a sip of water. They choked me up. Penalties on the night. I probably missed some, but the main ones that caught my attention: a false start by Deontay Johnson in the first quarter. TJ Watt was called for a face mask, even though I think he was being held on that play. Alex Highsmith was called for roughing the passer. He was a little bit late, and that was a touchdown to Pringle. And then Dan Moore also was called for holding in the fourth quarter. Injuries. Don't really believe or don't really recall or remember anyone actually being injured in this game. I'm sure I missed somebody, but I don't really know if there were any injuries there in the game. Let's do the first offensive drive, first defensive drive, and then I'm going to save my office visits for a little bit later. But all right, first offensive drive. Steelers won the toss and they chose to receive. Now, let me give you guys my opinion on this. I am the type that prefers to defer. And it seems like a lot of NFL coaches do that. Steelers do that quite often as well. You defer, you put your defense on the field first, and of course, where it's beneficial or advantageous or whatever you want to say is the fact that you're going to get the ball in the second half, right? And the idea, I guess, would be if it's a close game or maybe you're riding momentum, you get the ball back, and that's the way you want to go. Cool. Steelers normally do that. Steelers this time chose to receive. Now, I think the reason why they did that is maybe they want to get out in front early. Maybe they had hopes of being able to put points on the board and have Kansas City play from behind. I don't know, but I know people are going to disagree with receiving. But like I said, Steelers traditionally defer. This time they chose to receive. My only guess would be is they felt like they wanted to see if they would be able to do anything offensively earlier rather than later. And maybe they had the idea of let's play ahead, because maybe they felt as if you put Chiefs on, put them on the field first, they score, then you're already down. I don't know. I can't say it was the right or wrong decision. Obviously there had to be some rhyme or reason to it. That would be my only guesstimate. Like I said, I do not know for sure though, so we shall see. All right, so I'm gonna be drinking a lot of water, guys, just letting y'all know. First offensive drive, the Steelers elected to receive. I already said that. There was a run by Najee Harris, 2 yards. There was another run by Najee Harris, loss of 2 yards. Steelers are faced with the 3rd and 10. Pass was incomplete, and guess what the Steelers did? They went 3 and out, and I wrote right here, looks like the normal slow start. First defensive drive, a nice tackle for loss on Hardman by Sutton, loss of 4. Get them to a 3rd and 8. Nice PBU by Norwood. Steelers forced their own 3 and out. Okay. Pretty good. Now, let's talk about key moments, and I'm going to talk about each drive in the first half. That's all I need to talk about. Second drive, Ben almost throws an interception on first down. Offense shifted into empty set. Quite often on that particular drive, did you notice they were doing a lot of shifts, like pre-snap shifts? They went into the empty set on that particular play. Ben had pressure in his face. Steelers ended up going 3 and out again on that drive. But I did put here that Chooks got blown up by Ingram on that third down play, ended up on the ground. And, again, I wrote here that we did a lot of shifting and we kind of went up tempo. So I said, okay, we're going up tempo a little bit early. Let's see how that plays out or how that might work for the Steelers going forward. All right, Steelers were able to get off the field with a great tackle by Minkah Fitzpatrick, again, on third down. So the Steelers were able to get the ball back. Third offensive drive, Steelers go 3 and out yet again. Trey Turner allows an untouched sack on Ben Roethlisberger to end the drive. Then Hardman was able to return the punt, 49 yards, and the Chiefs were going to, at that point, start in the red zone. But what happens? Chiefs take over there. Devin Bush gets a pick off of a deflected pass by TJ Watt. How beautiful. TJ Watt going up, batting the ball down, being TJ SWAT. Remember we used to call JJ that? Now him and his brother both are known for the SWAT. TJ deflects it. Devin Bush is able to pick it off. Boom. Steelers get the ball in good field position. Fourth drive, Juju converts a 2nd and 6. And his second effort, and then Deontay Johnson drops a 2nd and 8. Very next play, Deontay Johnson is called for false start, and the Steelers are unable to convert, and they're forced to punt. Again, they got a first down by Juju on that drive. The next series of downs following that, they went 3 and out on those. Forced to punt. So they did nothing with the turnover. Chiefs were able to convert a 3rd and 11 on the next drive. Steelers only send 3 on the play. The Steelers were able to still get off the field after forcing a 3rd and 9 later on in that drive and There's Trey Norwood again with another PBU. That was the one I think when Mahomes tried to throw across the field. I mean, only Mahomes is crazy enough to do that, and a lot of times can convert that play. But again, Steelers get off the board with no damage done. Fifth offensive drive. Third down conversion to Deontay Johnson. We then are faced with a 3rd and 2. Ben Roethlisberger does what he normally does. When he sees that single high, and he sees the look that he wants and his one-on-one on the outside, he takes a shot. It doesn't matter that it's only 2 yards to go. Y'all know that's what Ben Roethlisberger has been doing for the last few years here. Y'all know that. I'm not knocking Ben. But he overthrows the ball and into double coverage, I might add. Steelers are forced to punt once again. TJ Watt is then called for face mask on the play. With the very next play, there was a fumble by Kansas City. They tried to run some trickery. They fumbled the snap, and then Cam Haywood gets in, makes a tackle, fumbles that again, and then Watt scoops and scores, and Cam Cam forced the fumble. Watt scoops and scores, and it is 7-0. And whoa, whoa, round of applause to Steelers fan 97 for the nice sizable donation there. Really appreciate that, man. Round of applause. Hey, Steelers fan, I really appreciate that. I always recognize that you guys do not have to, it's out of the own kindness of your heart that you guys donate, regardless of the dollar figure, but definitely with it being a bigger donation there, I'm going to definitely shout that out and say thank you again, because, it's something that you guys never have to do. It's always optional. So thank you. He says, Sim, I agree with you about this going in about, you say, I agree with you about this going in about us losing, and we need to fix the run defense and fix the O-line and get corner and safeties to pair with Minka, get rid of Matt Canada, bad play calls, and reports coming out that the Steelers will draft the QB. Very interesting. Very interesting. And I think, autocorrect got you on a couple words there, but I think I got what you were saying there. Very interesting, man. If the Steelers are looking to draft a quarterback, it does make me wonder who that would be, as well as I definitely think the Steelers are going to be in the market for a veteran, as well as I think Mason Rudolph will be the guy that's going to start if we draft a guy this season. Well, this upcoming draft. Just my thoughts there. We got another donation, man. Round of applause to Knight Rider. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Knight Rider says, anyone else notice almost all of Deontay's drops is when he's going across the middle. He gets scared of contact. I don't know if I will say all of his drops and that he's scared of contact. Could be something to it, but Deontay has made those very catches, though. Think about all of the ones across the middle he's made. Think about the ones that have went short passes but went for long distance. He's housed some of those. Think about one he made, a couple more he made later on in the game, going across the middle, quick slant. So I don't know if I will believe that theory. I just think it's concentration, man, because Deontay Johnson, let's not forget, let's look at the whole season. Deontay Johnson had reduced his drop problem until maybe the last couple games of the season, and then he had a couple tonight. So I don't know if I'm going to, go that far as to say that he's scared of contact or anything like that, because he's made those very catches multiple times. So, and some of them, he's wide open. It's not like anybody's right there that is going to deliver the blow. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But, appreciate the comment nonetheless. Where was I? TJ scoops and scores off of Cam Haywood's pressure. Tackle, I won't say it was pressure because it wasn't a pass play. And guess what? The Steelers are winning 7-0 because of the defense. The defense. After 5 offensive drives, the defense is the one that comes up with the score. So right after that, Steelers give up a big scramble to Mahomes. Chiefs were able to end the drive with the score. Just like that. Here they come again. And I think a lot of that had to do with the amount of time that the Steelers defense was on the field, but I'll get into that in a moment. 6 offensive drive. The Steelers go 3 and out again. And this time, Diontae Johnson does drop a clear first down. Chiefs score on the very next drive. Joe Hayden gets beat badly on a double move, and the Chiefs have another explosive play to Kelsey. And, being guarded by Spillane. And he ended up with a 14-7 lead right there for the Chiefs. 7th offensive drive. The Steelers go 3 and out again. Ben takes a shot on 3rd and 5. Takes a shot downfield. Unable to convert again. And it's so funny, guys. I wish my wife was still in here. She watched some of the game with me, not the whole game, but she was here for that particular drive. And I remember turning to her. I said, babe, Ben about to take a shot. When I saw the defense, I explained to her the look that he's got, what the Chiefs were showing, and I told her he's going to take a shot outside the numbers, kind of explained to her what that was, and she looked at me and said, you just said that. I was like, this is what he does. This is what he's been doing all season. And a lot of times, the teams bait us into doing that, and I'm also going to explain to you why they bait us into doing that. Okay? I'll explain that to you, and it started last season, by the way. Right after that, Joe Hayden gives up another big play to Robinson. Highsmith gets a sack on the next play. Mahomes is able to find Kelsey on a deep shot. Mahomes extended the play, which clearly busted the coverage. And this results, again, in my opinion, defense being on the field too long. But again, I don't know. I'm just speculating. But on that particular play, man, to Kelsey, clearly busted the coverage. I can't wait till I can watch the film. I know Norwood was the closest guy there, but I need to see what all of the moving parts were doing. Again, you can't see this on the TV film from that angle. You can't really see the full perspective to see what everyone was doing and what the coverages may have been. But either way, Mahomes was able to extend the play, busted the coverage severely, and there you have it. All right, so that basically gets us to the second half, man. The Chiefs are up 21 to 7, and like I said, I'm not even really going to talk too much about the second half, not at all, really. There was one thing I did want to point out. Let me find my notes. There was a drive. I didn't mark it down, but remember that play that we gave up another explosive play, and both Cam Sutton and Devin Bush were both playing the flats? What was that? Again, looking at it on the TV tape, it looks like it was Bush more at fault of why he went out to the flat. I would assume that the cornerback had that area. All depends on the coverage, but clearly there was a blown coverage either by Bush or Sutton. They're both playing the flats, and Mahomes throws it right in the middle of the field. Horrible. The only other things I will point out, man, again, James Washington, and I wrote this, 9th drive, and this was, again, second half. Steelers have their first sustainable drive. James Washington makes a nice big contested catch down the left sideline, and then Ben Roethlisberger comes right back and he finds Diontae Johnson with a nasty route by Diontae just getting off of the tight coverage and just going right past the guy. That's what Diontae is going to kill, man. And again, I think Diontae Johnson is a monster. And yes, I would re-sign him and have him in Pittsburgh. He's just got to fix those hands. Because I already saw I think it was my guy Mark Malone. I already saw somebody say, don't give him a second contract. Come on, man. Diontae Johnson is too good. He's too good. I think he does get a second contract. I don't know what they're going to pay. Maybe you don't pay him top dollar. Because maybe you could use the drops as a negotiation tool and be like, look, but, Diontae Johnson is a phenomenal receiver. I want him on the team, okay? He's just got to find a way to keep his concentration. And then James Washington, man, the touchdown of James Washington, again, another contested catch, another issue, another thing that I want to ask, maybe not tonight, we'll get to it. But there's another question that I have is what happened with James Washington? What is the story there? Why James Washington just seemed to get pushed down the ladder? Maybe they put too much stock in Chase Claypool, but I feel like Matt Canada Ben Roethlisberger or Mike Tomlin, or whoever is really responsible for that rotation of players. James Washington needed to have more time on the field. This guy makes a lot of combated catches. That's what he does. But whatever. So, guys, let me get to my quick takeaways. Then we'll go into the office visits. And then I'm going to come to the chat. Steelers went 3 and out on their first 3 possessions. The Steelers went 3 and out 5 times in the first half. They only had 7 drives in the first half. Do you guys hear what I said? 7 drives. They went 3 and out on 5 of them. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Steelers defense was able to keep the Chiefs from not scoring in the first quarter after 4 offensive possessions. 4. The Chiefs touched the ball 4 times, and the Steelers kept them from getting points in the first quarter. Presley Harvin did a better job punting tonight. It's unfortunate that we had to see so many of his punts, but he definitely had a better performance tonight. Ben Canada. Yo, did I just say Ben Canada? Oh my God, it's time for a water break. Ben and Canada don't work together. And that's going to be the meat of my wrap up of my portion of the show. The rest of it is going to be you guys. It just don't work. And I'm going to talk to y'all about that. Give me a second. And Ben just can't throw the deep ball anymore, man. Not at the regularity that he used to. It's just short. Okay, and that's what I was talking about, why teams bait him into doing that. Think about this whole season. Most of the time, he's not throwing it on the money or past the receiver. A lot of these balls have fell short. And just bad, man. It's just bad, and it's definitely time. And again, I'm going to miss Ben Roethlisberger, man, and you guys know that. And I'm sure we'll get into that, maybe on Tuesday or the next Still Table. But, yeah. Now, time for some office visits. The first one, Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson, please come into this office, sir. Come on. I hate that I got to do this, because I've actually bought you in the office for this exact reason before. Deontay, what's up with you in the concentration? What is it? You know why I say it's concentration? It's not your hands. It's not your hands. You have way too many receptions this season for me to think that you don't have good hands. You've made some tough catches this season. Unlike some people, I don't have, convenient amnesia. I remember some of the great catches you've had in this particular season. Great catches. But you seem to drop some of the easy ones. That's concentration. You've been working on your route running, and it's beautiful. You've worked on your hands. You've had overall a great season catching the football. You just started to show, the old Deontay started to rear its ugly head a little bit later in the season and tonight's game. You practice with tennis balls. They showed you doing that. That helps with eye and, hand coordination. It's not your hands. You're going to have to clean that up. Because just like somebody said in the chat, fans are saying not to give you a second contract. And I understand why, because it seems like sometimes in these key moments you're dropping the football. But you're way too talented for someone to throw you away. Way too talented. But in order for you to stick around, you're going to have to catch the ball. Everyone has drops, I get it, but not when they hit you right in the hands like that. You just cannot have consistent amounts of drops. Gotta fix it. You've got to fix that. Out of here. Now, really, guys, the only other office visit that I have, really, you know what? I'm not even going to call Ben into the office. Nor Matt Canada. Because I'm going to talk about those two. And I'm just going to give my full thoughts on that, the offense with those two. Some of you guys might be asking for Keith Butler to be in the office. I don't think so. You know, Keith Butler is what we know him to be, right? But we got to admit, the defense played well in the first half, didn't they? And remember I said last week when Mike Tomlin had a great defensive outing, you know, him and Terrell Austin. Remember I threw the trick question at you guys. I said, well, who do you give credit to? Because there's been games that we played good defense and Keith Butler was the guy. So remember I said, well, let's see what happens next week. Keith Butler's defense played great in the first half. I tend to feel like it was more of accumulation of being on the field that affected them tonight. And I'm sure it was some Keith Butler stuff. Again, I got to get into the film room. I'm sure there was some of the normal Keith Butler zone stuff out there. I'm sure there were times, I already mentioned one time where we only sent 3 into rush. I'm sure. But personally, to me, the defense wasn't really the problem tonight. You know what the problem was? And I hate to be this guy, and don't take it this way, but this is what I was telling you guys before the game. Did I not tell you this is why I'm not confident in going into this game? Our offense has the slowest start in history, it seems. And it has been consistent every single game. Every one, pretty much. We had what? One? Did we have what? I want to say one game, maybe 2, but I think we had like one game that we scored points in the first quarter or first half. I think we scored early against Denver, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because then they came back. But this is what we've been watching every week. That's why I don't understand why some of you guys were so advantageous about this game. Nah, man, they gonna be pumped up. I mean, all of that stuff that y'all was trying to add to it. They gonna be pumped. The environment, that ain't got nothing to do with how the offense have been performing. And there's multiple reasons. But this was not a surprise to me. What was a surprise to me was that the Steelers, through one quarter, didn't allow any points to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Steelers were actually on the board first, and the defense scored. How in the world did that defense keep the Chiefs from scoring any points in 4 possessions? That surprised me. But again, the offense went 3 and out 5 out of 7 times in the first half. The defense is not going to hold that track team all night. It's just not going to happen. Our offense did absolutely nothing. Nothing for the first half of the game and on into the third quarter. That is why they lost. Of course, there's other things you could say, but that is on the football field. That's the reason why they lost the game. When the defense was getting those good stops, we weren't getting any points. Not even a field goal. Y'all realize Chris Boswell only came out to kick tonight when there was a touchdown? We ain't even getting field goal range. We didn't even cross the 50 until the third quarter. We had 2, count them, 2 sustained drives. 2. Remember, out of those 21 points, the defense gave us 7. But like I said, I can't wait till I come over in the chat, because I know it's a lot of blame out there for who y'all think is to blame. It's going to be from the head coach, the coordinators, to the players. I can't wait to see you guys' thoughts. But on the field, that's why they lost tonight. Plain and simple. And that is exactly why I was telling y'all I had no confidence coming into this game. That's it. This has been on display for weeks. It is the eye test, people. It is not my Steelers' heart. It is the eye test that allows me to make these, I'm not even going to say predictions, but just give my thoughts on what I think is going to happen. I use my eye test, and that's it. No personal feelings, no bias. Now let's talk about Ben Roethlisberger and Matt Canada, and I'm coming into the chat. That's why I put those guys in the thumbnail. That marriage just never got off the ground. It never got off the ground for multiple reasons too. One, Matt Canada began the season saying he's going to run the plays that Ben is comfortable with. Did he not? Remember that? Before the season started. That's number one. Number two, Matt Canada, I feel like, didn't utilize the personnel that he had to the best of its ability. Just my opinion. I don't think he utilized it to the best of his ability. I think there's more things he could have done there. Perhaps. Hold that thought, and I'll come back to you guys in a moment. Round of applause to Elon, is it Mickey 2 for the donation? Because once we're behind, they opened up, took more shots, and look what happened. Wish they gave Ben more of a chance. Who? You wish who gave Ben more of a chance? I need you to expound on that. You said you wish they. Who? You talking about Matt Canada? Or, because let's not forget, again, we saw it in this game. A lot of them outside shots weren't working because Ben was underthrowing the ball. See Antoine Hill, round of applause. Boy, Antoine gonna find a way to reference basketball. He said it feels like the 2001 finals, Lakers versus Philly. Man, listen, it's funny because some of y'all, of course, I wasn't saying it on YouTube, but I said the same thing back then about my Sixers. I was like, I was telling people at work and everything, don't let that win in game one fool you. They're not going to beat the Lakers. Plain and simple. And they did not beat the Lakers. So let's get back to it. I do not feel like Matt Canada properly utilized all of his personnel. And the reason why I can say that is quite often, guys, we saw the same game plan, right? And that's got to fall on him and Ben Roethlisberger. It has to. And again, some people want to put Tomlin in that mix because Tomlin said he's aware of everything, defense, offense, special teams. Okay, you can put Tomlin in that too. But to me, the bigger responsibility as far as offensive play calling and offensive performance has to be the offensive coordinator and the quarterback more than the head coach on any team, unless the head coach is the coordinator. For instance, everybody knows Andy Reid calls plays, but Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator. So if their offense isn't clicking, you'd have to say Reid, Bieniemy, and Patrick Mahomes, because all three of them are clearly involved with the offense because we know Andy Reid calls offensive plays. I don't know how much involvement Tomlin has, even though he says he does. I don't know him to be an offensive guy. So if I had to divvy up the blame, I'm going to say OC, QB, and then maybe the head coach. We got some more donations, man, so let me hit those up. We got one from B Mint Low, and we got one from Renegade Dre. Round of applause to the both of you. It says, how does defenses shut all of our receivers down? I'm going to get to that in just a moment. Just a moment. He says, Renegade says, Ben did what he could with this O-line. 7 game-winning drives. Okay. All right, so let's answer the first question, man. The first question was, well, hold on. We got another donation that just came in. Man, you guys are really doing it tonight, man. Love. I really appreciate y'all, man. We got another donation that just came in from Casual Friday. Round of applause. And B Mint Flow or B Mint Low, I'm going to come back to your point. I won't forget. But Casual Friday says, Sim, few questions for you. 1, what position is the greatest need in addressing? Man, let me answer that a little later because right now it's a lot. Offensive line is easily one of the greatest needs, right? What side of the offensive line? I might say center, right guard, if I had to call it right now. And this is the reason why Dotson is going to come back. Maybe you put him at right guard, or so in that case, maybe left guard is your need. But definitely one of the guard positions, depending on what they want to do with Dotson, right? Center, of course. Don't know what's going to happen with Kendrick Green. Maybe Kendrick Green becomes a guard. I don't know. But you could easily say center and guard is a need. Right tackle, perhaps. You know, I don't know if a core 4 is re-signed. I think this is the end of his contract. I think. I could be wrong there. You could say that. Cornerback is definitely a need. I don't know if it's the greatest, you know, depending on whether or not we can re-sign Okello. Inside linebacker is a need right now. And quarterback. So, but let me analyze some things, man, and really look at this team as a whole, you know, after a week or so after this season. He says, do you re-sign Juju? And 3, haven't played Madden 22. Is it worth a cop? I ain't getting into the Madden stuff, guys. The reason why I'm not, if you know me, for you guys that know me from the gaming aspect, I never tell people whether a game is worth it or not because everyone's opinion is different. I couldn't answer that for you. The best I could tell you, man, I have feedback videos that I put out there. Maybe look at some of them, look at some other people in the community and kind of gauge what you can see is good or bad for the game and then decide. But I can't answer that part for you. I really can't. And yes, I do re-sign Juju if I could. I really want that to happen. So let's go back to B Mint Low, if I'm saying that correctly. I don't think it's so much that they're shutting down our receivers. Let's look at this season as a whole. There's been times where our receivers were wide open. Think about it. Just think about all of the games. Remember even in Green Bay when Juju got past his defender and Ben missed him twice? Again, I'm not bagging on Ben. I'm just recalling what I remember seeing. Deontay Johnson has been open quite often this season. You know, Chase Claypool has had times when he's been open, but most of his have been combated catches. James Washington as well has had combated catches. He's been open from time to time. Excuse me. Ray McLeod has turned into a guy that can work himself open. Pat Freiermuth has had opportunities when he was open. Like, just think about this entire season. But what's happening, though, is I think it's a combination of the route combinations that we're running, the plays that we literally call offensively, as far as, because there's been a lot of plays where we're just running guys to the sticks, like a 3rd and 10, like straight up. All 4 receivers are running comebacks right at the sticks. It ain't that hard to cover that, right? And there's a combination, I believe, of the offensive line. You know, I really believe that maybe Ben didn't have as much trust in the protection. And that's why he gets the ball out so fast. So think about that. Think about how fast Ben has gotten the ball out. And I mean, ain't you talking about asking all of the receivers to win off the line like that? Deontay is really the only one that can do that. You see what I'm saying? So it's a combination of everything. It ain't just the receivers. We've had times where our receivers were open. Again, you saw Deontay Johnson get open tonight on that touchdown. But Ben hasn't hung in there, you know. And again, no knock on Ben, but I don't think he really trusted the protection. So maybe a lot of the play calls didn't allow routes to develop down the field. And then again, him getting the ball out fast. It's a lot. In Matt Canada, whatever plan him and Ben come in the game with, it's a lot, man. But just sticking with that theme, man, and then I'll come into the chat. It just didn't work. You know, clearly Matt Canada is the offense that we think he's going to put on display. It's going to require a more mobile, a younger quarterback, if you will, even a guy that can get out of trouble. Again, I'm not advocating for this, but just think about even the games when we seen Mason Rudolph play this year, and he was able to escape the pocket and get big gains running. You see what I'm saying? We don't, even if we didn't have a mobile, quote unquote quarterback, we need a guy that can move. Like Mahomes, extending the play. We just need a guy that can move. Ben is not that anymore. Like, this is one of the times I've never seen Ben eat sacks as much as he did this year. But it's just because he's immobile. He's just not, he's an older guy. He's a statue. And he's on the verge of retiring. So I'm not blaming him. Round of applause to Renegade Dre for another donation. Better route concepts come with good offensive line play. There you go. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a combination of things, folks. I don't want you guys to, I don't want everyone to have the highlight watcher approach. You just don't see the big play and then you're thinking, oh, what's going on? No, you got to look at the nitty gritty. My man right here is absolutely correct. This offensive line hasn't played great consistently to even allow better route combinations or, deeper route combinations and over routes and things like that. So it's a multitude of things. But again, I have to look at Matt Canada because you have to adjust. You have to be able to adjust to what you have. You got to be able to, call audibles and adjust and work with what you got for the most part. And I don't think he did a good enough job doing that. Because again, like I said, a lot of times, man, we saw the same offense. How many of y'all knew we were going to run the ball twice on first and second down to open the drive and then we take a shot? That's been all season. And look at Kansas City. You see how many looks they threw at us and the different play concepts they threw at us? I'm not asking us to be the Chiefs, but I'm just saying, guys, when you have personnel, Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy get everything they can out of their personnel. And we're just vanilla. And a part of it, I'm sure, is the so-so offensive line. So again, for all of us who know that to be a fact, I asked some of you guys, knowing that the offensive line wasn't great, knowing that the offensive line couldn't hold up, why did you guys expect any different result? And I'm talking season-wise. Why would you expect us to be better than 9-7-1 with the troubles that we've had? Not to mention how we were able to get ran on so greatly. At least tonight, we didn't give up so many rushing yards. We kind of bottled it up in the first half. But think about that. This team was not supposed to be here. I told you guys last night, don't go getting your hopes up for no reason. They're not going to beat the Chiefs. I said they needed to have a near perfect game. Sorry for that, guys. I just pulled up the stream here so I could catch any any of the funny business that comes through the chat sometimes. But they would have had to have played a near perfect game to win this. And let's just face it. So, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to be the quarterback next season. I have a strong feeling if the Steelers do not go for a free agent, Mason Rudolph will be the starter. That is my belief. Even if we draft a rookie, Mason Rudolph will take the opening snaps in that first game of 2022. Now, if the Steelers get a free agent, then obviously I think he's going to be the starter, right? Who are the free agents? Looks like Jimmy G might be available. Would you take a chance on Jimmy G? I would, depending on how much it's going to cost us. It's always that catch. Jimmy G, to me, is not a world beater, but, serviceable quarterback at the right price. Jacoby Brissett, I think Jacoby Brissett, again, is another serviceable quarterback. Jameis Winston, and I should love Jameis Winston being a Nose fan, right? But you don't know what you're going to get out of Jameis. Is he the type of guy that can run the Matt Canada offense? At least the one that we have seen with previous organizations, not NFL-wise, right? So it's still question marks there with Matt Canada. Will Matt Canada be back? Who knows? We do know the Steelers don't fire coordinators or coaches, really. They just allow their contracts not to be extended or renewed. I believe this is Keith Butler's last season in terms of his contract. Let's see if he gets renewed. But I just don't think the marriage of Ben Roethlisberger and Matt Canada ever came together. Ben Roethlisberger just played his normal traditional style that we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years. Ben just couldn't throw the ball deep downfield anymore outside the numbers, man. A lot of those balls were short. If you put him in a certain situation where it has to go an X amount of yards, he wasn't going to really get it there. We didn't utilize the middle of the field much at all this season. Got the ball out of his hands very quick, which made it very easy for defenses to play that. Ben Roethlisberger threw a lot of interceptable balls this season. He's threw a couple, at least 3 tonight, I think. So there you have it, guys. There you have it. But you know what? Let's turn it over to the chat. I want to read some chats. I'm going to spend a little time in here, man. We're at 48 minutes. Let's see what y'all got. Again, I want to know, in you guys' opinions, who's to blame for tonight's loss? Because let me tell you, I've seen it all tonight. I've seen it all. And by the way, I'm going to double down on what I said before. Cam Sutton is not the answer on the outside. Anytime he's playing outside the numbers, I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Round of applause to Bruce, is it Lee, for the donation? Says, thanks for the season, Sim. Forever a Steeler. We will win a Super Bowl when we get it back. When we get back to running the ball and run simple 7 forever. Yeah, man. I mean, maybe. I think we got some pieces on defense. If we grab a few more, man, you got to lock Minka down. You got TJ. We're going to be losing some pieces soon. How many more years is Cam Hayward playing? What happens with Stephon Tuitt? What happens with Tyson Alualu? I already said we need to re-sign Adams. I really like Adams. Maybe not as a starter, but Adams shows a lot of flashes, man. He's fast. He's quick. He made a couple plays tonight. Does Loudermilk, perk up next season? Are we able to re-sign Okello? It's a lot of questions, even defensively, man. But I think, I don't know. It's hard for me to say that we're going to get back to the Super Bowl anytime soon as I sit here today, because we don't even know what the quarterback situation will end up being. But all right, y'all, bring him in here. Whose fault was it tonight? And I'm going to read them all. Lydell Dorsey says the team lost. Tony Carlton said Deontay killed any chance early. I won't say any chance, Tony, just my opinion. The more significant one he dropped was like that 3rd down, but it wasn't just Deontay Johnson. those two drops hurt, of course, but it definitely wasn't just Deontay Johnson. Casual Friday says Big Ben's fault. Last game he should have YOLO'd and balled out. All right. Pranav, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name out of respect. I don't want to butcher it. He says, he or she says, in my opinion, it's just a collective failure as it pertains to blaming coaching and players, just not a very good football team. Yeah, I think it was a collective effort. Definitely you have to put blame on coaches and players. Absolutely. That's definitely a fair assessment. MT Moot says Cam Hayward wants out of Pittsburgh. Where is that coming from? Please explain where that's coming from. I kind of find that hard to believe, but maybe you saw that somewhere. Carmichael, the sports guru, says, I'm blaming Ben, and that's the whole season. He's been under throwing wide receivers all year. He can't hit wide outs in stride, so they have to make combat catches. There's some truth to that. Again, we saw it this season. Ben Roethlisberger just hasn't been able to be himself. And again, it's age and attrition. Knight Rider says, I blame Canada for not being willing to at least change the plan. Hard to blame Ben when he's a shell of himself, but he did miss some throws. Can't really blame anyone else. Okay. And like I said, guys, I'm going to read as many of these as I can. I might skip over a few, in error, but I just want to hear from you guys tonight. Jeremy Johnson says, I think Mason Rudolph would be better than any QB we could possibly draft or free agent that could and want to play behind the O-line. Okay. Got you. Oh, y'all said Mooch is trolling? Yeah, that was crazy. I knew that couldn't have really been a real sentiment. I was hoping not. Jason Smith says, entire offense. Dietrich says, I agree, Sim. Sutton is better inside. I think the offensive play calling was terrible. Wish Ben could have come out no huddle and allowed him to get a rhythm going. Yeah. Jake Taylor says, whole team is at fault. Okay, that's an interesting one. Wave Dave says, talent and execution. Reggie Red says, player execution, period. Okay. See, Antoine Hill is advocating for Haskins. Francisco says the offensive line and Ben and the big losers were the big losers today. The defense did more than was expected. Sad for Najee. It was his game, but he really looked like he wasn't 100%, so no blame on him. Yeah, man, I forgot to mention that. Thank you for bringing that up. Najee fumbled, man. That's, and again, guys, listen, let me tell y'all, Steelers fans go crazy. I saw people going at Najee. The man hasn't had a fumble all season. Bad time to fumble there. But, come on. He wasn't the reason we lost the game. Who knows? I don't know. Elbow injury may have had something to do with the fumble. I don't know. I'm just saying that it's so funny to see how the blame gets cast on people. That's why I'm asking these questions tonight. I'm reading all these different opinions, man. It's always interesting to me. Jesse Dunson says, front office to blame for the season. Okay. I like where your head's at. That's an interesting one. Again, the name that I can't pronounce. I'm going to read this comment, though. Virgin D. I'm going to just say Virgin D. He says, picking 20th in the draft would rather they lose the last two games and not been embarrassed in the playoffs and been picking 12th in the draft. Just the way I see it. Ain't no problem with that. Even though I'm also one of those that I don't advocate tanking. I'm not saying you are, but, they got to the playoffs. Oh, okay. I don't, me personally, I don't believe in, playing for draft picks. That's just my opinion. Hey, Miss Debbie, how you doing tonight, Miss Debbie? Appreciate it. Glad you're here. She says, offense did not do anything of substance when it counted early, but defense did not give a good 60 minutes. That is correct, Miss Debbie. The defense absolutely just fell apart in the second half, but I really, really believe, man, that, ma'am, let me not say man. I really believe that was just attrition at that point. You could see it. You could see it by like the 7th possession. After all of them 3 and outs, you could just see the defense, man, was just gassed. But again, you got to put some blame on them because they were out there on the field, right? Renegade Dre, another donation. Round of applause. He says, our time was up. It's that simple. An old quarterback and no offensive line and I'll add to that, not a consistent offensive line. A revamped, struggling offensive line. And there you have it. Give me some more, guys. Give me some more. I can't believe it's a couple of names I haven't seen yet. Come on, guys. Give me the reasons why we lost, guys. I want to hear from y'all. Chris Osu says Colbert's gotta retire. Okay. See Antoine Hill. Said you didn't even watch the game. Oh man. I mean, maybe you had something to do, but if you didn't watch the game, I don't know. It's not a whole lot of opinion you can offer. But you are correct. They did. It kept the defense on the field, man. Our offense kept the defense on the field. Got another donation here from MT Mooch. Round of applause. You said, Cam said, I take not being in a Super Bowl personal, and I will weigh in on my future here in Pittsburgh with my family. Now, let's keep an eye on that. I feel like Cam may have been saying that in terms of whether he's going to retire or not. Just my opinion. Cam Hayward hasn't shown me any evidence that he would turn coat like that. You understand what I'm saying? But we'll see. If he said that, let's take a look and see what that means. Now, Cam Hayward is not up for he's not going to be a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. Cam is under contract, right? So I would read that more of him saying his future. If he's going to retire, is he going to continue playing? I would believe that's what it is, because Cam Hayward is not a free agent. So, I read those words a little differently, knowing that he can't just leave on his own if he wanted to. You understand what I mean? But I think it's more of that. Who else, guys? Who else was at fault for tonight's loss? Jake Taylor says, I am in the DC area. I watched the Haskins show. It was not good. Yeah, Haskins had a bad go at it, man. Yeah. See, Afro just said what I said. Cam is still under contract, so I wouldn't read too much into that. I think it's more, again, Cam is getting older, man, and Cam plays his heart out. And like you said, maybe he's, maybe he's considering retiring. Casual Friday says that man is fresh off of a loss. Yes. So you got to keep all that in mind. A lot of emotion going. All right, guys, before I sign off, do we have any more of who's at fault? Carmichael, the sports guru, says Trey Norwood for letting Kelsey cross his face. That ain't the reason we lost, but that's why I want to watch the film. I want to watch the film. I want to see what happened on that play. But you're absolutely correct. If Trey Norwood was in the area, you just cannot. That's the one thing about zone coverage, man. And guys, you hear me talk about it with Madden all the time. You can't let a guy cross your face. Okay, when you're in zone, you're playing an area, right? That's your initial assignment. But you should always react to the closest threat. If anyone comes in your area or across your face, you have to react to that. Unless, again, depending on the zone responsibilities, if you're thinking you have help over there, then you can let guys pass through your zone. And if they're not in an area where you can bump them but again, it usually after the play, especially after a play breaks down like that, you got to start plastering. You got to have that clock, that mental clock. And after a certain amount of time, and you see the quarterback on the scramble drill or whatever he's doing to, create more space or more time, you got to plaster the guys that's in your area. But yeah, I don't know, man. Marlon says the same thing here. He says Cam said he takes not getting to the Super Bowl personal, but the Steelers organization needs to what? You said organization needs to do the same. I guess that's what you're saying, by addressing the position that touches the football the most time that can get you there. Quarterback. Yeah. I'm with you guys. Somebody else says Cam. Wait. Who said that? Somebody else said Cam something. And I went past it. Let me read this one. Real G Lee says, Sim, I felt for Matt Canada because he looks at his playbook and says, can't run that, can't run that, can't run that, can't run that. That won't work. Maybe new. No, he said maybe no. Oh, well, I'll just run this. Oh, man. Yeah. Reginald Jones, what's up, man? I don't think I've seen you in a while. How you been? He says defense was holding up good until the second quarter. Whatever coverage we were in was leaving big holes in the secondary. Yes, it was. Players were not in a good position to defend the pass nor make tackles. Yeah, man, I cannot wait to look at that film. Ghost Marley says, I blame the secondary. Okay, that's fair. Y'all notice I'm not opposing anyone's opinions. It's just I love to see multiple perspectives. Whoa, too legit to quit says he blames the Roonies. Okay. G. Smithers, it says, David DeCastro, he is the reason why we have that terrible Trey Turner. Can't blame David, though, but I feel what you're saying. But yeah, man, that sack that Trey Turner gave up was just beyond pitiful. My man Lagoon Tours from the Bahamas, he says, fault goes to Matt Canada, the OC, the guy in the booth talking to Ben, offensive coordinator in Canada. Yeah. I'm with you. There's a lot of blame to put on Matt Canada for his play calling. That is correct. I like this one. Mr. ABS says, Sim, KC is a top tier team. You have to be perfect to beat that type of team. They can play bad and still turn it on. They put up 42. If we had scored 2 more touchdowns, we still would have lost respect. Yeah, but look, ain't this what I said last week? Well, yeah, I guess you could say last week now. Didn't I say that on Tuesday? Didn't I say that last night for you guys who saw the pregame? I said the Steelers would have to play perfect against a Kansas City, and we did not. That's why I don't understand Steelers fan base. I know y'all was hoping, but I don't understand why anybody thought that the Steelers really had a chance to win this game. Just given how we've played all season, I don't know how we could have thought that. But like I said, guys, with all of that being said, somebody says, where do we go from here? I don't know. Up, I hope. We're going to have to do definitely a season wrap up in terms of the terrible towel steel table discussion with Kenyon and Tony, hopefully. Maybe we'll do that this Tuesday. I'm debating that. Maybe we'll do it Tuesday, or maybe this Tuesday we'll just do like my normal, put a bow on the season. Maybe if I have a chance to rewatch the game, we'll see. But we'll say that the steel table will be either this week or next week. And then we'll start figuring out what other type of stuff we'll start doing on Tuesdays, man, talking about positions and things like that. But listen, guys, I told y'all this season was over before it was over. It was cute that we got to the playoffs. And all this did was give Mike Tomlin another loss in the postseason. And by the way, I wanted to mention that. Man, listen, see, I be trying to trust you guys as Steeler Nation, right? And, you know, how much we get on Tomlin for his playoff record and all of that, right? And silly me, you know, I knew we had lost some of our more recent playoff games, right? I knew that. So I kind of took a lot of you guys' word for it, saying, yeah, man, he definitely needs to be better in his postseason record, you know, as if his postseason record was horrible. But I was like, let me look at the record. Come to find out, Mike Tomlin before tonight was 8-8. It's not horrible. Now, I'm the first one to tell y'all. My biggest, you know, mark on Mike Tomlin as far as career is the Killer B era. That's the era that I look at and be like, dang, man. Like, that's the time when you could have got you another Super Bowl if the defense would have just gotten rebuilt, or, you know, so if there's ever a blemish, in my opinion, again, as a Mike Tomlin supporter, and I like Mike Tomlin, like him as a coach. I hope he's still the coach, right? Which he will be. That's the era when I'm like, man, that's the one that I got to put, that's the one I look at it when I say, man, underachieved for that period. Because you would think, man, with that kind of talent, like a KC, the type of talent Kansas City has on offense, you knew they was going to win a couple Super Bowls, at least one, right? In a 4-year span. You know that's got to happen. And that's how I felt about the Killer B era. When we had that talent, and I know there were times that they didn't all play together, but again, we was putting up points. AB was going crazy. Like, that time was when I felt like, man, we underachieved with that unit. But like I said, I was surprised to find out that his playoff record was 8-8. It's not horrendous. Right now, I guess he's 8-9, you know, but who thought we was winning today anyway? So just thought I would mention that. And again, man, you know, yeah, they just didn't get the job done today. I didn't think they would. And that's about all I got to say, man. But I'm surprised. I didn't see too many people say, I didn't really see too many of you guys say Keith Butler or Mike Tomlin was to blame for this game. I'm very surprised. Normally, that's always the case. At least one of those guys are in the mix. And, you know, a lot of times it's Tomlin. Yeah, so I'm shocked. And unless I missed it in the comments, I really didn't see anybody talk about Keith Butler or Mike Tomlin. As far as the reason why they lost tonight, that's a shocker. Rad Rob says, last time Mike Tomlin did not have a horrible playoff record was 2 decades ago. I'm confused. Like I said, to me, 8-8 is not a horrible playoff record. 8-9 now. I'm just saying, and I'm not debating what people think is horrible or not. Again, I'm probably one of the front runners that says we underachieved with the Killer Bees, right? But I was expecting to see a much worse playoff record. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying I was definitely expecting to see worse than 500 when I looked that up a couple days ago, because of the way the people who say he has a horrible playoff record, the way they hone in on it so much, I was expecting to see something like a 1-7. You know, the way people was talking about it, you would think, you know, the dude was 2 for 16 or something like that, or, you know, 3 out of 3 for what? We'll do the math here. 3 for 12 or something like that, or 3 for 13. That's what I would have thought, based off of how people hone in on that. That's all I'm saying. I was surprised to find out that it was 500. But Like I said, it's not about him. I'm not really having that conversation. Smitty says they think Big Ben Roethlisberger is the greatest quarterback of all time, so Tomlin should have a greater record because of him, which is BS. Ben underperformed in those situations as well. Yeah. Yep. But I am shocked. I am very shocked that not many people said Keith Butler or Mike Tomlin lost the game tonight. Oh, there's one. Chris Bartell says Keith Butler and Mike Tomlin are to blame. Okay. They sure were, Brent. The Killer B era, the defense was garbage. But all right, y'all, we are hold on, let me see. Okay, so this is more merit, and this is what I'm saying. This is more meat on the bone. Rad Rob says 8-9 playoff record is deceptive because it has not been balanced as a record suggests. The truth is the playoff wins all were 2 decades ago, except KC win a few years ago. Well, we can't say all and then say except. It says, but Tomlin's record the last 6 years. Yeah, listen. Let me be loud and clear when I say this to everybody. I am not debating that. We all agree that we feel like the playoff performance should have been better, particularly the last 6 years. Let's go all the way back to the AFC Championship. You feel like you should have had a better showing in that game. But okay, so what about the divisional round with Jacksonville after coming off the bye? Probably should have won that game. And then Cleveland, right? More recently. That game just started off terrible, but you expected they should win that game. So I don't think none of us are disagreeing with that. All I was saying is I thought the record was a lot worse. I thought it was a lot worse. And people can say how many decades it was. Who cares about any of that, right? When you talk about somebody's record, you got to talk about the totality of their record. That's all I'm saying. I'm not advocating or defending. I'm just saying I thought it would have been way worse than what it was based off of how people really try to tear that down. But yeah, I listen, like I said, I'm not arguing any of that. Again, I am not here to disagree with anyone's opinion about Mike Tomlin. I told you guys I am not in the business of doing that. But, there you have it. But again, the exercise that I performed tonight, man, was just seeing all of the different narratives as to why the team lost. And you notice not everybody said the same thing. So my whole point in that is there's multiple reasons why the team lost. It is not all the head coach's fault. It is not all the offensive coordinator's fault. It is not all the defensive coordinator's fault. It is not all the players' fault. They all have a hand in it. This is what I always say. There are things we can point out. Like tonight, I think Ben Roethlisberger and Matt Canada showed more than anyone else. I'm sure there was blame by Keith Butler. Can't wait to watch that film. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm sure there may have even been some blame, perhaps, on the behalf of Tomlin. Sure there was. But this is the point I'm always trying to make. It's a collective. I will never understand the people who think it is only the head coach's fault. That, my friends, is strange to me. Because was it only Bill Belichick's fault? Was it only Mike McCarthy's fault? I'm just saying. It's never always the head coach, whether it's a win or a loss. But some of y'all seem to think that. That's weird. And maybe that's just the way you think. But if that is the case, Is that how you feel about all 32 teams? And maybe you do. And if that's how you feel, I tip my hat. I don't disagree. But I just don't believe that, guys, because, again, somebody who's played football and, plays sports, and I can't ever recall I could just say it was completely my coach's fault. So, but all right, guys, let's go ahead and get out of here, man. I'll be back on Tuesday. On Tuesday. What? We got another. Man, y'all went crazy with the donations tonight. Look at this, man. Lyle McCombs. Man, round of applause to you. Thank you for a good season. Well, thank you. And it don't stop here, guys. I know the shows will slow down. We're not going to have a post-game show, obviously. We're not going to have a pregame, obviously. But we will continue to do Terrible Towel Tuesday. We will find stuff to talk about, right? And I'll try to find things that just pop up videos. Like I might just do special report videos and things like that. But we'll keep ourselves together during the off season. We're going to have a lot to talk about. And like I said, we'll stretch out some content. We're going to have some still tables. We're going to have the ladies of Still Nation come back. And we'll still keep some things going. But yeah, man, as far as the 3 shows a week, obviously, we're not going to have that anymore. Terrible Towel Tuesday is the only one that you'll be able to rely on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, for anyone who may be new viewing here tonight. So I will be back this Tuesday, and, we'll kind of put a bow on the season. And like I said, I'll check with Kenyon and Tony to see if they want to get the still table in early on Tuesday, or if we will wait. Well, actually, no, I won't do it this Tuesday. And here's the reason why. Tuesday is usually when you guys call in. So this Tuesday, let's keep that going. I want some callers, and really there's nothing to recap, really. I might as well just give y'all like a 10-minute, and then the rest of the time is just callers. Because this will more than likely be one of the last times that you call in on the show. So that's what we'll do. But all right, I'll see y'all, guys. I'll see y'all. Hope you guys have a great night. Right there, man. If you haven't already, if you came through tonight and you were new, make sure you subscribe to the channel, cut on your notifications. Come on, stick around. Hang out with us. I think you will enjoy it here as a Steeler fan. And outside of that, man, if you liked the video, please show me that you liked it by hitting the like button. Don't just say you liked it. You can say that all you want in the comments and all that, but hit the like button. That really helps me. And if you dislike it, hit the dislike button, because I like real feelings. But outside of that, it's been a great season. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Hope you guys have a great night. If you have to work tomorrow, have a great start to your week. But for those of us that are off, enjoy that day off. But either way you do it, be safe. God bless. Good night. And thank you for tuning in to the Terrible Towel post-game show. Peace.